Hi everyone, and welcome to another apartment building video. So today I'm making a very light and bright studio apartment in the Fashion District, and this is a nice contrast to the last apartment I made, which was the Industrial Artist apartment, because that one ended up being pretty dark, and after I made that, I was just really in the mood to make something that was much brighter, so here we are. And this is one of the apartments that's in the 21 Chic Street building. I think the number was 1310. It's the one that was 2 bedrooms, but it was like two really small bedrooms that were just super cramped. So rather than trying to keep it as a 2-bedroom apartment, I felt like it would be better to just turn it into a studio apartment. Because yeah, the 1 bedroom fit only a single bed and a dresser. I think the other one barely fit a double bed and a dresser and maybe like 2 nightstands or something like that, and then there's just hardly any living area. So yeah, I thought it would work a lot better as just a studio apartment, and I could have made it a 1-bedroom apartment, but I really wanted it to have an open feel to it. So rather than using a wall to separate the bedroom area, I just put up a curtain, so it feels like it's separated, but it's still all one room. But right now I'm working on the main area, and as you can see, I used a lot of whites in here, and I also used a mirror backsplash in the kitchen, because the day I made this apartment, I also made 2 others, and in all 3 of them, I used mirror backsplash in some way, although in the other 2, I put it just behind the stove, and I think one of them I put it behind the sink too, but in this one, I decided to put it all the way around, because supposedly when you use mirrors in a small space, it gives it the illusion of being bigger, and this is a pretty small space, so I thought maybe, even though this is The Sims, it might help when you're at least looking at the room from Sim point of view. It just really helps to just give it a, I guess, the brighter feel or whatever, like or a more open feel like I was going for. So yeah, I decided to do that. And yeah, even though I used mirror backsplash in those 3 apartments, I personally would never want to have mirrored backsplash, just because, one, it's probably a mess to clean if you get food splattering onto it when you're cooking or whatever. And also, I don't think I'd ever, like, I wouldn't ever really want to be able to look at myself while I'm cooking or doing other things in the kitchen, just because I don't like there being mirrors where there doesn't need to be mirrors, and plus there's just other kinds of backsplash that I like more in general. But for this apartment, I think it really worked, and really worked with a smaller space and the more modern feel that I was going with for it. But the kitchen's done. It has been done for a while, so right now I'm working on the living area. And yeah, I use that more, I guess, mid-century modern kind of style coffee table, which I really like. Oh wait, never mind, we weren't done with the kitchen. I just had to put a microwave in there. And over in this area, I put in a computer desk. So there's a little office area in here, which I don't think this apartment originally had. Yeah, I don't think there's room for it. Like, the couch and the TV was just like crammed right into the area between the 2 bedrooms, like between the 2 doors. And that whole living area was just super duper cramped. So yeah, I don't think it really worked that well as a 2-bedroom apartment. Definitely much better as a studio apartment. But yeah, this place is also pretty cheap. So you really don't have to have your Sims you don't really have to have your Sims earn much money to be able to afford it. I think it was only about 25,000 simoleons. So if you have 1 Sim, it's only about 5,000 simoleons more than what they start with. And if you have a couple, it's only, I think, 3,000 more, because I think couples start with 22,000. Not exactly sure on that. But yeah, it's pretty close to being a starter apartment, which is pretty good considering that it has a lot of nicer things in it. But I find that with apartments, it's a lot easier to put nicer stuff into cheap space because you're not paying for the outside of it. So that's a nice thing about it. And I also got really stuck on this wall right here, the one that the one that I'm changing the paintings on. I don't know what it is, but for some reason I just didn't like how that wall looked, and I kept switching out the paintings multiple times and trying different colors, and nothing really looked right to me. So eventually I just settled on, I think it was a different kind of blue wall than what I have in there. But yeah, I just settled on that and some other random painting towards the end. But yeah, I don't know why I kept getting stuck on that. It seems like in every build there's just some stupid part of it that I just get really stuck on and really frustrated on when I probably don't need to be. It's probably fine if I just moved on from it. But now I'm working on the bedroom area. I'm pretty happy with how this part of the apartment turned out. Oh, and this was also the first time I got to use those wood floors that came with City Living, which are probably my new favorite wood floors. I just love how shiny they look, and yeah, I was really wanting that kind of wood flooring, so I was glad that they put that in. Even though it's supposed to be basketball court flooring, it still works really well for houses and other builds in general. But yeah, right now just figuring out what to do with the whole bed area. So I just did this, putting cabinets behind the bed thing. I don't know why. For whatever reason, I just wasn't really liking how any of the nightstands looked in here, so just decided to go with that. Oh, and something really weird that I noticed about this apartment was that when you tilt the camera up, I don't know how to explain, but when you kind of get to the view, I don't know, you probably couldn't see what I just did, but when you lower the camera down as if you're looking at it as a sim and then point up towards the ceiling. For some reason, some spots on the ceiling are blue, which is really, yeah, you can see it right there, which is really annoying. I have a feeling it's probably showing up in everyone else's game, but hopefully that's something they fix. I mean, it's such a small thing, but it really got on my nerves when I was trying to look at the rooms and get a feel for how things were turning out. But that's it for the bedroom pretty much, or at least for now. So now moving on to the bathroom, which is just a little 2x3 bathroom. There's really not anything that special about it, but it still turned out to be pretty nice. And the thing I really like about the layout of this apartment is that it's still a studio where it's all one room, but the bathroom helps to separate the bedroom, so it doesn't feel like your bed is right in the middle of your living room or your kitchen or something like that, which is something that bugs me about some studio apartments. But yeah, I like that there's separation with this. I think at this point the bathroom's almost done. Yeah, it didn't really take me that long to furnish this, just getting a few decorations in here. And with that, this apartment is almost done. So I just want to mention before ending things that if you want to download this apartment, there'll be a link to do so in the description. They also have stuff in there on how to find it in-game. But yeah, that's going to be it for me, so I hope you enjoyed the rest of the video.